Just because you got the money to make any amount of investment does not mean you're one with the Force and the Force is with you. Welcome back to the Triple Take. My name is Joseph.
I'm Manny.
And I'm Frank.
And today, we are graced by our special guest, beloved cousin of Frank, Bryan.
What's up?
Better known as SSJKillerBee. Welcome back.
I love being here.
Glad to have you.
And today, we're taking it up with the mouse.
Throwing fisticuffs with the mouse.
Fisticuffs.
Be careful, that's my employer.
Cutting that part out.
He said that the last time.
Retcon.
Redacted.
As it's probably known, hopefully the audience has taken notice, I'm a pretty fairly beloved fan of Star Wars. I grew up with it.
I feel like that was light. I feel like that was putting it lightly. Just saying.
I'm with you.
Let me thank you.
Oh no,
Brian.
I'm letting you cook.
Let me get to the origin story.
I know. I knew you were gonna get there. That's why I let you rock.
Yeah, because Frank learned that last week. So, you know, like growing up as a kid, like you go to the movies and you're just like, whoa, and you get to see the big screen.
Yes.
The first movie I remember seeing as a kid, like the first just memory imprinted in my brain, was watching Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, opening up to that ginormous, gargantuan space battle, lasers, and me being a stupid, chunky nerd of a kid,
Where you gonna have the
Chunky is crazy.
because my origin story is nothing but true. I was literally mesmerized, like watching explosions, watching everyone, like all these twins who were actually clones at the time, because, you know, I didn't notice.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, this is a big family. But I don't know, as a kid, having that be my first movie theater experience that I, like, you know, comprehended, instantly fell in love with it. And from then on, you know, I started watching all the movies, watched the prequels, because it was always on Spike, like what, every Saturday, Thursday, something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
that's where I watched all the movies. I never went to the movie theater.
Yeah, only thing that, only gripe I had with that, I frickin' hate commercial breaks every damn time.
Look at us now in the non-commercial age.
No,
why.
I still got commercials. I
He
can't.
don't pay. We don't pay that premium, brother.
Nah, not even now.
Crunchyroll's
He's like, talk about
Crunchyroll.
yourself.
Crunchyroll's the only exception.
You watch, now YouTube's having ads while you watch your video. You just see it in the right-hand corner. It's disgusting.
That's insane, but okay.
But that's another argument for another day. Now, in recent years, Star Wars was making a comeback. Disney had their acquisition of LucasArts and Lucasfilm. Fortunately, LucasArts is no longer a thing. That's the studio, the gaming studio that they had that gave us the original Battlefront. Partnered with, I don't remember the original Battlefront studio, but partnered with them. Gave us The Force Unleashed.
Yeah, I know that.
Fun, beloved games.
Oh my god, I love that.
I
game.
had Force Unleashed on the
It's
PlayStation.
a top tier.
Was it PlayStation?
Probably.
And the PSP.
PSP, yo. I spent way too long playing those challenge modes in that game. Is the Force with you, Frank?
Bro, like
No, it's
I
Unleashed.
had a real quick. You can probably cut this out if you want. But like, you just reminded me of a dream I had last night that my mom bought me a PS Vita, the new one.
Yeah, you're a big kid.
I don't know why. That was so random. I was so surprised. I was like, I didn't even ask for this. I didn't even know you knew this existed. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so then after Disney acquired everything, George Lucas was like, you know, give me X amount of money and then the rest of it in like Disney stock. Great deal. Good for George Lucas. And then he gave only a few directives in terms of like how they should handle Star Wars per the contract of it being sold.
Yeah.
The main one being, do not change Darth Vader's character.
Yeah.
Leave him as a menace. And that is the main thing I would say Disney, Star Wars under Disney's control, has done profoundly, is make Darth Vader the absolute menace. The menace of presence that man is. 100%.
Even in the new
Rogue
games.
One. Rogue One.
Rogue One,
Bro.
he did his job.
What is it?
Jedi Survivor?
Yeah, Jedi Survivor. But with that fight against him, I was like, bro, this man is a menace. It's literally my thoughts. I died twice.
I died once.
Man, it was annoying. No, I thought the second
not
time.
Jedi
was
Survivor.
These
it's-
guys played on easy.
What's the first one?
No, I played on the
All right,
I played on the hardest
brother.
difficulty.
Don't
That's what I always
disrespect.
You know, I can't freaking remember that game.
Fallen Order was the first one.
Fallen Order.
Okay.
I knew it.
So, in Jedi Fallen Order,
That's
you
what I
know,
was talking about, yeah.
Darth Vader makes his appearance. He's a boss level threat.
Enough.
You can't give this man enough respect by making him a boss with no health bar. Because in order to survive, you must run away. And that man was pissed off and he slaughtered everything trying to get you. And you barely made it out alive. And this man's holding the weight of a planet's worth of water up against with one freaking hand. You understand how heavy water really is?
Yes.
Yes. I think we all understand. Even my limited science knowledge understands.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
That's the main thing that I love what Disney did.
I think they've done that really well. 100%.
And with all the source material for what they were going to when they were pushing out the sequel series, the sequel trilogy, back in
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, we were in 10th grade, so that's what probably
With Ray and stuff?
2015.
Are you talking about The Force Awakens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about The Phantom Menace. Sorry, I went backwards.
No.
I went back.
You went back. Yeah, that's that Jar Jar Binks era.
He's
But-
the real Sith Lord.
Ooh,
He's
I
in
love
Fortnite.
that theory.
He's in Fortnite.
That's
as
true.
The Sith Lord.
That's true. You got Darth Jar Jar.
That's amazing.
But I don't know how it went wrong. You have a good amount of the people that
know where it was.
studied these movies, that grew up with these movies, that their dream was to make a groundbreaking movie such as Star Wars, special effects that no one has ever seen, compelling storytelling, whatever, just something fun. Even like, sure, you could forego the story, but it was just a good cinematic experience.
Yes.
And
That's at its core, that's what people loved about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you know, Disney's running things. You have like, ain't no way you can't say Disney don't have money. Disney has the money to make movies.
I mean, that's one of their biggest IPs, so.
Exactly.
Well, that and Marvel.
Yeah, they'd be shelling out Marvel movies like pancakes, to be honest. 'Cause you just-
Whoa. Calm down. We're on a new track. Captain America: Brave New World was good.
again,
We're on a new age,
okay,
New World.
and on a new Brave New World, I should say.
a brave new set of precautions. You have all this source material back then, before Disney took over, after Return of the Jedi came out. You had still people that were fans of the franchise, and they would contact George Lucas, whatever, and they would write the books. You literally have hundreds upon hundreds, maybe even thousands of books,
Bro.
comics, source material.
Oh, and the comics are fire, bro.
Exactly, and to refine whatever sequel Disney would put out,
Yeah.
foregone. Everything was deleted.
Yeah, they just said, nah.
They said all this stuff you have that we can use.
The
don't need
expanded
it.
universe was rebranded as Legends. My beloved character
Bro.
of Grand Admiral Thrawn, foregone. All these extra plot points, foregone.
Bro.
Extra things that before Disney took over, such as certain references in Star Wars,
Yeah.
foregone.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
no
what-
one
what
knows
decision that
in
was,
terms of
bro.
like the original direction they were going towards the end of the franchise.
Oh, for that new trilogy?
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Where
Yeah,
or
I-
the
I
original,
still don't know, bro.
The original expanded universe.
Oh, okay.
So like where Luke Skywalker was supposed to go to the planet of Mortis to get the blade of Mortis. You have the ones, the godlike force beings.
Yes.
And they were going to get a knife, and Luke Skywalker was trying to find the knife because that was the only thing known to kill these beings. And they were up against Abeloth, which was his nanny to these people who went to the Well of Darkness and the Fountain of Wisdom or whatever. And she literally became like a primordial cosmic entity,
Yes.
fully controlling minds, bending planets, space
Am I
time,
the only one
everything.
keeping track? I'm in there. I'm
No,
in there.
I'm
I know
keeping track.
exactly
Yeah.
what he's talking about.
A threat. Literally,
I'm in
like
there.
the closest thing to think about how people describe the devil, and that is what this woman was.
Okay. Force.
In Star Wars.
The Force.
Thank you, Brian. To where the strongest Force user, to where everyone at the time, all the Force people, even you have whatever dark side people being like, yo, that thing's a problem. Upon other things, they had to unite against it. Like, you know, they talk about the galaxy far, far away, everything's happening in the galaxy. You had concepts such as a Yuzon Vong, an extra galactic species that don't like technology. Everything they have is organic. Their ships are called world ships.
So
They're all just a giant coral in
wait,
space.
Why am I
wait.
so mad? I know this.
So they decided to throw that away and just do a sibling rivalry.
Yes.
That's crazy, bro. Sibling rivalry, and then just say, you know what, Luke, we're gonna destroy your character.
I don't.
That was so bad what they did to this
There's-
character, bro.
Aside from his character, what got me confused, if you're in charge of a franchise, cool, J.J. Abrams, Force Awakens. It wasn't too different from Episode 4, sure. but at least it gave itself a foundation to move forward.
Okay, hold on. I wanted to stop you right there. Hold on. At this table, we all agree The Force Awakens is good.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm just making sure because I feel like that movie gets overhated.
I do too.
It's
I do
because
too.
they're like, oh, it's just a reskin. I'm like, I mean, you're not entirely wrong, but it's.
I mean, yes and no. It's
was-
not perfect, but I would say it's just foundational enough to
Yeah,
set the tone for
I
the new
enjoyed it.
series.
I had no, and also I know a lot of the complaints were, oh, the woman. I'm like, bro, you know, like, God,
Bro.
Yeah, I remember that. I wanted it to be Finn.
I know.
Granted, yes, me as a Star Wars fan,
want it to be
do I
Finn,
feel entitled to get some certain concepts, some storytelling? Yes. But, like, I appreciate it for what it is. And I was like, you know what? They're
Yeah.
taking some bold moves.
They finesse Finn. That's all I'm gonna say.
100%
finesse.
No, not because he didn't get the powers. I'm just saying, like, even without that,
They
No, no, no,
finessed
no,
the
no.
great
actor.
character. That too.
They screwed over John Boyega in my
John
100%
Boyega.
opinion.
I didn't remember his name.
I know his name.
Out of boys.
But like I look at The Force Awakens as a foundational movie, and like you said, and you set certain plot points in that movie to move forward, certain tones. And I don't understand how you have the sequel, The Last Jedi, given to a different director, Ryan Johnson.
I ain't gonna lie. That's a crazy name.
Agreed. But Ryan Johnson has
not
done
even spelled right.
True. Ryan Johnson has done good work. He's the director of Knives Out and the sequel.
Okay.
He's done good stuff.
Yeah, huh?
And J.J. Abrams set up certain things, like certain things were decided upon to set up going into The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Completely foregone. He was like, you know what? I'm going to take it in this direction. And it's like, but how do you go from a master? Like, I'm pretty sure Disney, Lucasfilm, whoever the heck was there was a plan laid out. And how do you be like, no, I'm going to do this, and it gets derailed, and Disney approve it?
The Last Jedi was the one that they killed Snoke, right?
Snoke.
Yeah.
Snoke.
Supreme Leader Snoke.
Okay, yeah. I got you.
So,
I'm just making sure I'm not getting Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi confused.
No, you good.
so my thoughts on that, because I did not like that movie either. I wonder how much of it was the backlash they were getting from the unjust backlash they were getting from the first one. So I'm like, what was Ryan Johnson's decision and what was the studio's decision? Because Kathleen Kennedy does not make the best. So
That-
like overall, I don't like the movie. I just don't know who's at fault for what the movie is.
We never will. That's the one thing that like drives me insane. It was like, how you have the money's here, the minds are there, people here have done good work, great work. Like you guys.
How does it get disconnected?
How do you get disconnected? You grew up with Star Wars. You held it to such a regard.
You know what it is? The only time that it gets disconnected like that is when they forget the point of it. They look at it's because of the money, right?
Yeah.
But they look sometimes when you're looking at it through a company standpoint, perspective, I should say. They think about short-term effects or short-term problems instead of like the long-term overarching, because that's the difference between somebody that's a fan like you thinking about how this story will develop regardless of how the movies sell or how they are looked at by the public. Like if they had a really great overarching story happening, they wouldn't care how The Force Awakens did, like or at least that the backlash that it received. Like of course they would care how it did, but the critical backlash it received wouldn't have mattered in the overarching presence of it, right? When they're looking at it through a business standpoint and like, oh, this didn't work, we need to switch it up so that we can have more people say it was good and more people really buy into this that we invested in a lot of money into. So they need to buy in now, not later. That's what it feels like it happened. Like for me, looking at it from this perspective.
And then on top of that, it's carried by the fact that Star Wars is what it is. It has a huge fan base behind it. As Frank said before, it's one of the biggest IPs that Disney has. So Star Wars sells itself in a sense.
Yes.
You would, when you have that discourse of in a business where it's like you have your vision, I have my vision, Frank has his vision, Bryan has his vision, and we can't interconnect those visions together, you create that discourse that eventually leads to this type of discussion that we're having now about how it's one of the biggest fumbles in terms of storytelling.
Yeah. I'm still like at a loss. Like you guys are supposed to be a team. Even if you disagree, there should be some form of compromise for you to move forward. And certain things were set in The Force Awakens.
Yep.
So how are you going to forego those topics? Like, it's like going into the next movie, oh, we're going to retcon this, to then have The Last Jedi come out, and it was not a beloved movie. It was panned for a lot of things. And I rewatched it, and there are moments in that movie I can appreciate as someone that doesn't like it.
Was The Last Jedi where Rey and Kylo Ren fight in the snow? Or was that?
That's the end of the first one.
That's the end of the first. That's the end of the Force Awakens.
Because they fight on Starkiller Base.
Oh, that's my favorite part of that whole trilogy, honestly.
Yeah.
Now,
Go ahead.
the fight scene though in The Last Jedi in the throne room, that was a beautifully choreographed fight scene.
That's the one thing I wanted to say is that no matter what,
I got you because I could destroy that.
no matter what, and you could destroy me now. That's fine.
Whoa, what are we talking about?
I knew you were gonna say that, bro. I knew you were gonna. I was waiting for you to say it. This guy, bro.
Star Wars, when it comes to the lightsaber duels and when it comes to the space fights, I can't lie. It could suck to most people, and I'm gonna say it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm easily influenced by seeing the lasers and then seeing the little lightsaber duels. I'm
Flash.
easily influenced by the lights, the
Camera,
the
action.
camera, the choreography behind it.
No, yeah.
I'm sorry. They could put like anybody in the lightsaber duel, and I'm gonna be like, "This fire." I'm sorry. That's just me.
And the best part about these movies is that they do look beautiful.
Yep.
Always do. Never fails.
And The Last Jedi in Supreme Leader Snoke's throne room. Like, well, granted, before we get to the throne room, the moment that ginormous freaking ship popped out of hyperspace,
Yep.
gargantuan freaking planet size, bro, I was just like, that thing is huge. Where did this come from?
Like, the reason why I like the Kylo Ren versus Rey fight in the snow is because my favorite moment is when he turns on his lightsaber there. When it goes.
How his swords, his kyber crystal's broken, so it's unstable, so it burns out.
But like when you look at the way it turns on in comparison to the background and like how everything is like dark, it looks so dope.
Yeah.
Super dope. That's
I
my
agree.
favorite moment.
I might be on the minority side of this, but Ren's fight with
Isn't it Rey? No,
Kylo Ren. Their fight. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though he wasn't one with the Force, but I'm just gonna say this now. Whenever Finn had the lightsaber, I thought it was cooler. I thought it was better. And even when he used it, I was like, he's the best.
He's one of those, Bryan.
He's one of them.
He's one of them, Bryan.
I'm a Finn lover, bro.
But going.
Bro, he could have been Mace Windu's son, and I would have been like, you know what? Greatest storytelling of all time.
But the thing is, the
Storytelling of all time. I would have been like,
Okay,
it
wait.
makes no sense, but I'm in there.
To your point, for Finn being a part of
Yo, brother.
the FN Corps, he was, in terms of like the First Order Finn, like, he was FN 2187. That's his
Yes.
designation.
Yes.
So
His original storyline was way better.
Oh, no, 100%.
And even what you
all,
wanted.
all these kids were kidnapped by the First Order.
Yep.
And they were indoctrinated or
I
whatever.
was so pissed when I found it out, bro.
And him as a Finn as a character, in terms of his combat ability, was the best of his whole legion.
Yeah.
Comparable to even surpass Captain Phasma.
Yep.
Cold character, too.
No,
That was a cold character.
That was one
in
of the
Force
best
Awakens.
parts. That was one of the best parts.
Did not have enough screen time.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, her background and like the comics stuff, a lot more interesting.
Yep.
Shout out to Bryan.
Literally that whole part, I felt like they should have shown more light to it.
But
They didn't
the only
understand
reason, the only reason why the First Order didn't move up Finn was only because he showed compassion,
Yeah.
where his teammates were like dying, and he would be the one to bring them back and get them to safely. And the mentality, which again, certain villains in Star Wars, like I love them, but they are stupid.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just like, oh, you should just focus on the mission, forget about your team. And I'm just like, you just kidnapped this kid, and you're just gonna like let him die. You're losing resources. Are you stupid?
You can't say that. You can't say that because it's like that's just villains in general.
Because they feel like
Even in Marvel,
That's why they lose. They're stupid.
Even
because
in
they have
Marvel,
unlimited
like,
resources. That's the point.
Which doesn't. Oof. Okay, going to your throne room fight. There's one moment. Cool. It looks beautiful. That like crisp crimson blood red. Beautiful room. Beautiful setting. But in that wide shot where they're like,
Yeah.
Rey and Kylo Ren are basically back to back, and all the Praetorian guards are going at them. There's one or two guards in that scene. If you rewatch it in slow motion, they like go back and they troll backwards. No one hit them. No one touched them. Why are you twirling away like a ballerina?
The Force is strong. That's why.
The Force is some BS.
I mean,
Yo,
that-
stop
that's-
being nitpicky, bro. I like that fight. Stop.
I mean, when it comes to like that whole trilogy, my favorite character is Kylo Ren.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Finn.
I'm sorry. I don't care.
Finn.
I mean, Finn would have been my favorite.
Mine is also Kylo Ren.
Mine would have been Finn if they fleshed out a story and didn't focus so much on Rey.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Finn.
I feel like
Like, sure, her story was
kinda,
cool, but like
they
the
kind
whole,
of took a back burner.
yeah, because I'm just like the whole time it's like, who is she? All right, bro, get to it. Like, all right.
I
That
agree.
is one of the. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
That
just
is
like,
one
why
of
are
the
we
parts of it
spending so
that
much
like,
time on this?
that like it drags so much that it kills the story. If you think about it, like it just continues on and on and on. And
It dragged
at the
way
end of
too
the day,
much.
at the end of the day, nobody really cared. Nobody really
You know what
cared
it felt
about
like?
Rey when she was the. I'll be honest with you. In The Force Awakens, she is one of the least likable characters in that whole entire movie. That's just my
One of them,
opinion.
Bryan.
I do love the actress, though.
Hey, what do you mean he's one of them?
He's one of them, Bryan.
She is. I'm sorry. She's like, brother, Han Solo's there. He's more impactful. I'm sorry. Finn is the GOAT. He can't do nothing wrong. Oh wait, no, there's Captain Phasma.
I don't think you're a real person.
I love his opinions because they're so different from mine.
BB-8 is more interesting.
You see, in Men in Black, where
mean,
there's,
everybody
that
liked
little
BB-8.
alien inside
Oh, this-
the guy in Men in Black 1.
Yeah,
I thought about Scooby-Doo for a second when Scrappy's inside of the dude.
You know, that works.
No, same thing. Same thing.
Same concept. That's what's going on right here.
This isn't a real
just-
person.
he's-
He's an imposter.
He's trying to fit in. They caught me.
No,
Alien.
I honestly believe that she's like the least likable. Tell me who's the least likable person in The Force Awakens. Tell me.
The Force Awakens?
Yeah, tell me who's the least likable.
Hux.
No.
No.
I mean, I barely remember that. I guess I would probably be Ray.
Thank
It's
you.
my least favorite. Not least likable, but it's my least favorite.
Either way, you walk out of that theater not giving a.
But I'm not
a
gonna
Rudy
lie.
too
I'm not gonna
about
lie.
her.
I'm not gonna lie. Like in terms of the whole, my favorite character in that movie is BB-8. Like all the character like Kylo
He's
Ren.
not a real person.
Kylo Ren.
He's
No,
not,
no, the
he's
reason-
not a real person.
Because the reason why in the beginning I didn't really like Kylo Ren that much because I thought they were a little bit too over dramatic with his character.
Oh, with the whole.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, bro, like relax. But like after he grew on me because the way his character went. But the reason why is
It's
because
Adam Driver, dude. He's a great
Yeah.
actor, bro.
yeah, he's a great actor. I agree.
Fantastic.
Like in the beginning, trust me, I wasn't on board, but then after I was. But the reason why I liked this character, I feel like they actually fleshed him out compared to like anybody else.
He's Han Solo's son. You
Yeah,
got to.
like the whole thing with Han Solo, he killed him. That was crazy. in
that
my
wasn't
opinion.
crazy.
That was,
we all knew that was coming.
I
but-
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Gullible man.
I did only because this man's been trying to die for years in the movies. Like,
Harrison
See, but that's
Harrison
different.
Ford has said that he wanted Han Solo to die.
But me not
long
knowing that
time ago.
aspect of it, I really thought he wasn't gonna kill his dad,
Nah, you knew it. You knew
or
it.
he wasn't gonna.
As soon as
Get rid of his dad.
As soon as I saw a galaxy far, far away, I was like, "Yep, Han Solo's dead."
But but going from that, like you could see him like going like really battling with his emotions. Like it reminded me a lot of Anakin Skywalker from
Yeah.
Episode
I mean,
3.
Oh no, no. I'm arguing that he's nowhere near Anakin Skywalker.
No. I'm saying that he's battling within himself. Like okay, like but obviously Anakin was leaning more towards the dark side at that point. It's like the opposite.
I mean, realistically, to Frank's point, that dynamic is the most humanizing thing about this franchise, whether it's light or dark.
Yeah.
Because going off of how the Jedi approach things, you gotta be emotionalish, impartial, can't have any like direct attachments, can't like if you love someone,
But
that
that's
is-
hard.
that is a
That's
sin
not an
against
easy
them.
thing to do.
You're a monk.
Sure. When people come down to like Star Wars, what do they want to be? Most people want to be a Force user, and you're gonna have those dynamics that will like sway you one way or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like Kylo Ren was a person that was in between, and so was Anakin. But
Yeah.
like obviously they were leaning towards one specific side more than the other.
Or at
Maybe
least
it's the nostalgia factor in me, but I prefer Anakin Skywalker over Kylo Ren.
No,
any day.
I'm
of
not.
the week.
I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying they're comparable in terms of like the way they were battling emotionally with like which side they were.
they're in the same family.
I mean that too.
Yeah. Did you? Eh.
I would.
I don't know why you're making this up. Who's better? Like, I don't know why you did that.
No. I'm going off of what you said, and the comparable thing. I just don't like it. I don't.
I'm not a real person.
I don't like it. Like,
But there's no reason
that's
for you
fine.
to think this.
Now, for my grandest gripe
Oh, go ahead.
about
Besides
Disney
the
taking
shows
over.
are garbage. Yeah, what?
whoa, pause.
So
Some
Okay, we're gonna get to that point.
fallacies.
We're gonna get to that
Frank,
point.
Fallacies.
We're gonna finish off with the movies now, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
How is it that all these new movies, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker,
Which barely has Skywalker in it. Yeah,
I'm not talking about Rogue One. I'm talking about the sequel trilogy.
Rogue One's a special breed. Okay.
no, it's the best movie out of all of those.
How in the phenomenal heck do you not show off anything from the other movies? How do you not show off the core worlds, such as Coruscant? How do you not show that world, the state of how the galaxy is?
Or like pivotal planets in the
Pivotal
actual,
planets.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're
So
saying.
you have like the original trilogy, cool, the rebels are running around, but the sequel trilogy set up the state of how the scope of
the politics of it.
the basic like foundation of the universe of Star Wars,
Yeah, the
right?
politics.
And that's the main background thing for what's going on.
Yeah.
But how do you not show that? If you're gonna say you're a big threat, sure, you destroy a random planet or a system that, you know, they move the government to different systems, cool, whatever. But if you're really gonna be a real threat, wouldn't you destroy like a core world? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
You wouldn't have
This is a random world that some random person's a part of.
exactly. And originally, The Rise of Skywalker was a movie called The Duel of Fates,
That's
in reference
that's a
to
way-
the song from The Phantom Menace. That song with
that's a way better title.
Darth Maul shows up.
second best fight in the whole.
Where the First
Movies.
Order.
What?
Second best fight in the
Okay,
whole.
hold on. Continue your point so I can destroy that one.
I'm not gonna.
The
destroy
First
it, I'm gonna
Order-
disagree.
I would just disagree.
The First Order under Kylo Ren's leadership, he was like, you know, going full dark side, being the villain of the franchise, which I was like, cool, go in this direction.
Yeah.
They were supposed to lay siege to Coruscant. They were supposed to lay siege to the core planets that you saw in the other movies.
That's
They're
the point
supposed to
of it.
take over.
Yeah. You take over the political pivotal points of the universe to take over the universe. I mean, the galaxy, I should say.
Like, that would make sense.
Yeah, 100%.
You had Hux being the actual First Order commander that he wanted to be. These people are taking actual, like, villainous acts. Not just like, oh, something about, oh, I want to be the strongest power. No, they were a powerhouse.
They were terrorists.
But more like a national superpower. This is my political party. We want to lay siege. And they were laying siege. That was the main point of what they were going to
I
do.
guess terrorists would be a wrong word because they're really just trying to take over as in their own country. Basically.
Correct.
Or,
And they were their own
but
thing.
galaxy version.
But then, you know, lo and behold, whatever happened in The Last Jedi, and they wanted to clean everything up. Retcon, cool. Somehow Palpatine is back.
Yeah,
and I was just
I
like,
don't know,
excuse me?
bro. Like, that made no sense.
Granted, one of my favorite parts about that movie, though,
Ruined
about
this
The Last
character for me,
Jedi,
to be
or
honest.
The Rise of Skywalker,
Yeah.
the planet of Exegol, that was creepy. That was a beautiful looking planet.
Wait, what's Exegol again?
Where Darth Sidious was.
Where Palpatine was.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, is that the world of the dark side?
Yeah, with all the lightning and stuff.
Yeah, that's the best part of that. Because I wanted them to really go dive into the dark side planet. Because especially when you play Fallen Order, you go there. Or maybe it might be another planet.
You're
But
talking about Dathomir.
yeah, I wanted them to go with that one.
Yeah, I was just like, how are you not gonna include in your movies the layout? You know what I mean?
I just feel like they missed so many points that they could have expanded. Like, there's so many things that didn't even touch in the first movies, like especially when it comes to the dark side. And I
Yeah.
felt like with Kylo Ren, they had a very good opportunity to
flesh it
really
out.
flesh out the dark side part of the story. Like, it's supposed to be a balance according to the Jedi, right?
I think
Especially, and that will come with Legends, right?
Maybe-
But they
maybe-
took it out.
maybe one of the reasons why they didn't do it is because the more prominent characters are already gone. Maybe that's why.
But that's what I'm
And
trying to say.
You didn't want to maybe do that
No,
without
no,
them.
no. The reason
can
why
still
is
do that
because
with
what
a
he
new
said.
character.
They retconned all the Legend stuff, and that's where all the dark side stuff is.
I was talking about more just like Vader, Palpatine.
But I'm saying like it would be go beyond even that. Like that's what I'm trying to say.
That's why I'm saying I would, because as fans and as someone who's not as deep into the lore as Joseph and Frank are,
Well, Frank is no.
Frank's pushing it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna explore the dark side, I, as a fan with limited knowledge, would prefer you start that with Vader, Palpatine. I would want to see Darth Maul. I would want to see what's her name from
I agree with Darth Maul.
From what?
Asajj Ventress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Yo,
that was good. That was good.
mini-
But like,
oh,
I agree. I agree with the Darth Maul just because of who his people is. go with what I'm talking about. And I felt like telling their story through Kylo Ren, him trying to really see what the dark side is or whatever, like go into like what the dark, like I would have been dope to me.
To complement your point, the way that like it's referencing Darth Vader, Asajj Ventress, Count Dooku, Sidious or whatever, right?
Yeah. Dooku. Sorry, I'm a child.
Yeah, clearly. That like the way I look at that, that's more of like how the Sith operate. And the Sith have their own, like, belief system, right?
Yeah.
But at least that relationship between Kylo Ren and his back and forthness, similar to how Rey had her moment going back and forth. I appreciate the sense of curiosity at least Rey had in terms of, like, she's like, well, what's going on? Like, she's going with her feelings. And obviously it sways her to the dark side. Luke Skywalker is like, whoa, you can't really do that. But then it's not necessarily out of, like, let's say it's, like, out of the trauma of Luke. But for Rey to do that, but you want me to know the Force, I gotta know both sides.
Oh, I remember.
You gotta understand, like, this is what it is. Like, I'm a part of this. It's a part of me. I could tap into it. How would I not? Sure, like, if you go off the deep end, you can get stuck in the dark side. But you can't really have the light side without the dark, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And at least the direction I wish they kind of took that, especially at the end of The Last Jedi when they got rid of all the books or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like, we failed, like Yoda being like, as a Jedi Order, we failed. Maybe we need a new approach. And in terms of Kylo Ren, at the time, we didn't know Sidious was around. They were going off of, like, he's a dark side person. He's not a Sith. They don't necessarily need to abide by the rules. They could do their own thing, which I was like, do it. And then they didn't. And I'm just, why? Just stick to your guts. Make a plan. Stick to it.
Because, like, I have some gripes with the older movies. Like, I think one of my biggest gripes is Mace Windu. Trash. Trash.
What?
Trash, bro. I'm sorry. After seeing
You're not real.
Hold on.
You're not real.
I just want to clarify. You think the character itself is trash, or the way he was portrayed in the movies?
The way he was portrayed in the movies.
Okay, because
You know why?
Mace
You know
Windu's
why?
the GOAT.
He's spoiled. He's spoiled.
Yeah, I was spoiled.
He's spoiled because Mace Windu. We know of Mace Windu from delving deeper into the lore. He's cracked.
Yeah.
And I just felt like him losing to the Emperor right there, I was just like, wow. And when I first watched, I was like, I don't care. But like, me knowing who he is now, I'm just like, bruh.
It's Anakin's fault.
I mean,
It's all Anakin's fault.
But I'm just like, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like Star Wars always had that problem where like they focus too much. I guess they kind of pick who they need to focus on, and because it's a movie, right?
yeah.
So like because of that, they kind of put all the characters in the back burner.
Bro, they can't all be One Piece. Right?
No, that's fine because they
That's
can't
why-
always flesh out
that's why we have
everybody
the
in the
shows
movie.
and the cartoons.
But I just feel like sometimes they pick the wrong people.
I agree.
Probably why a lot of shows could be better, just because you have a little more time to like focus on other
I
characters.
think that's why they did it.
Yeah, that worked well with Kenobi.
Okay, hang on. We'll get to there. First thing we need to do. Wait, what were you gonna say?
No, what are you gonna say?
I wanted to talk about the fact that you said that the Phantom Menace was the second best fight.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was talking
Oh
about.
yeah, no, that needs to be. I understand it's your opinion.
I just want to know why.
Bro, we listen and we don't judge. But
No, I'm judging.
Duel of the Fates
I'm judging.
is number 2.
what's number 1?
Revenge of the Sith Final Fight.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I think
okay,
most
okay,
people would
that's-
agree.
That's agreed upon.
They're like right here though.
All right.
It's not like a
So
Jurassic.
we're not including General Grievous's fight with Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi? That's my second favorite fight. I'm not gonna hold
It
you.
It's-
made me a believer.
It
It made
was-
me a believer.
It was a great fight, but the weight behind the other two, like the Duel of the Fates, was literally the Duel of the Fates. Like
Yeah.
that's named that for a reason.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And
That's the best
then
fight.
the last fight in Revenge of the Sith was that whole like monologue before they fight.
Wait.
I'm gonna be yelling it in the theater on
oh,
Friday.
brother.
I'm sorry. The second one you said.
Hey, you.
Wait, Duel of Fates. What isn't that? Are you talking about?
Episode 1, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
Darth Maul.
That's called Duel of the Fates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
that's,
did
the name,
not-
that's the name of the song.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say like I don't know. I just feel like maybe if that fight was done around the same time as Episode 3, like with that choreography and visual,
Yeah.
I think it would be what you're saying it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the fight itself
I agree.
isn't like amazing.
Okay, I see
It
what you're
wasn't
saying.
bad. Like
I
it was
see what you're
for,
saying
for
now.
for the first.
I think it's good.
Yeah, like say it wasn't like compared to the Kenobi and the Revenge of the Sith one. Choreography wise, it's not comparable, but it's what that fight means to really Anakin's path.
And Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
I can understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, real quick.
and Darth Maul's my
all
favorite Sith
around,
Lord.
all around the table. Jar Jar Binks is mine. All around the table, favorite Star Wars movie. We'll end with Joseph because Joseph's the biggest one here.
Nah, I'm episode 3. I don't even need to think
I'm
about
episode 3.
I'm episode
I don't
3.
even need to think about it, bro. It's
From
not
the
even
real
close.
Star Wars fan. Say episode 5 and I'm punching you in the face.
Rogue One.
That's my second. That's my
It's
second
It's
favorite.
number 2.
I say Rogue One in the sense of
I can't even be mad at that.
if I was in the world of Star Wars, like the closest experience I have to being in Star Wars is to be a civilian.
Rogue One.
And in Rogue One, all I saw were civilians going at it.
Rogue One was the best movie in terms of everything, like
It
plot.
set the expectations for what the entire fan base wanted
Yes,
from Disney's takeover.
and they did nothing with it.
Well, yes and no.
Didn't do much with it.
Because, I mean, the one thing that I don't like about all the extra shows that they're pushing out and the extra comics and cartoons or whatever is that whatever plot holes they had in the movie,
Filling it in with that.
they're filling it in with the shows. Similarly, even though I haven't watched Andor, I'm aware of the plot points. It follows
Fire.
that pursuit.
So when we're talking about the shows, there's one thing that I, as a fan of, just notice between the two. And that's the difference in quality between the shows and the movies. Now, here's the thing. It's comparable to Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Marvel, obviously, they're trying to tell their own story within the shows. Whereas Star Wars, they're getting those plot holes and moving them into the shows. When you create those two separate branches, and I feel like this is not something that it's easy to be done, but I think we should stop trying to do is trying to connect shows and movies because it doesn't work. It's not good. And as you've seen what Marvel and Star Wars have done, in my opinion, save that for a movie or save it for something else. And that's completely out of the realm of the story because
That's fair. I agree.
shows should be something that, as Frank said, where we could explore the dark side. We could have something like that.
Oh, like something more like exploring the concept.
So the way that
Exactly.
you looked at all the books from the expanded universe,
Yeah.
you could have that be a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's
You don't have to worry about it being like all interconnected.
Yeah, the most beloved thing that people really would like expanded upon is just the criminal underworld of Star Wars.
Which is crazy, honestly.
And that was hinted at in terms of like that first episode of The Mandalorian.
Bro.
Just being
Fire.
like first ever Star Wars show, watching that first, literally
The best Star Wars show.
taken away from all that we knew from Star Wars, just having one man taking a job in that first episode. Obviously, it took a little bit of a turn, and then there's points that segue into like the main story, which I was like, I wish
Yeah,
it'd
that's when
stay
it
more
started
on
getting
its
a little
own.
bit bad. Worse.
But then it looped back onto its own path,
Yes,
which
made
again,
it
should
good
stay its
again.
own thing.
Which made it good again.
Exactly. Certain people, such as in the Resistance or in Rebels, like, some of these people, they weren't the best of people, as evident in Andor. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to survive. And sure, if you screw over with the Empire, they're going to get you. They're everywhere. So then you have these bad people would go to the rebels just to be like, hey, I got nothing else to do. You know what? You're going to keep me safe. I'll do what I got to do for you to got my back. There's that like deeper human layer
Yeah.
that you get out of the
It's little
shows, which I
gray
appreciate.
areas. Gray areas, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, the only thing I just don't like is using that expanded media to retcon, recon, and fix your plot holes. Because at that point, what am I paying a subscription to watch?
So I hate to go back to Marvel, but real quick, I enjoy what they're going to do with Spider-Man 4. How Spider-Man 4 is going to take place during Avengers Doomsday instead of having that be a show. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Star Wars does, is it basically says, okay, these are the events that are taking place. This is what's happening during it, or this is what happened before it. And where that could be condensed into a movie, example, Rogue One, and it was phenomenal. Imagine Rogue One as a show. It wouldn't have been the same.
No. It probably would have worked better than the other ones. But yeah, I agree with you.
It wouldn't have, like, in the sense of, it wouldn't have been as big as it is.
And I just feel like that. I think I agree with you with the shows and the movies thing interconnecting, because specifically with Star Wars, it really feels like they're just doing it to do it. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Kenobi show, I'm just like, bruh, why did we need this? For what? Like,
I
why?
agree.
Like, we could have just.
Granted, you know how big Kenobi is. You would think they
Probably
want
one of
to
my favorite
put.
characters.
You would think they want to put all their eggs into that basket, especially because they got the original actor to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they
So-
did have Hayden Christensen make his beloved return after a lot of people panned him for episode 2 and 3. And now, like, Star Wars Celebration just happened.
He was colder in Ahsoka. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god, bro, Ahsoka was good. If somebody says it's not,
I never saw Ahsoka.
I haven't seen it only because my friend said that you need to know a little bit of the animated shows.
yes, you do. Yes, you do. And those animated shows, top tier.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. First off, before we get there, all the animated content they've been pushing out, well, the grand majority of it, like a good 99%,
Definitely.
has been the best thing in Star Wars since the original 6 movies.
They haven't said what.
agree.
They haven't said what it's about yet. But we're getting a Star Wars anime soon.
The
But
Visions.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about Visions.
Yeah, the ninth
I've never watched it.
Jedi or something like that.
Visions
Yeah,
is
nice.
literally the epitome of what we're talking about. They're taking concepts and just making something great with it.
Now, that
That's
anime's
literally
gonna
what
be
Star
cold.
Wars.
I'm gonna say that right now. That anime, the Star Wars anime, is gonna be cold.
Yeah, but
I saw that they're also doing in the new season of Visions, the Duelist,
Yes.
a second part to that.
that's fine.
Cold.
But it's just like we got Kenobi, we got Boba Fett, bro.
Bro, what
Boba
a fumble.
Fett was the most boring thing I've ever watched in my life. This dude is 103 years old trying to do a fight scene, bro. He couldn't move, bro. Like, bro, I understand, like, okay, cool, original actor, but it's just like, my guy. Like, this man punched so slow. I would have rather had a wrestler be Boba Fett.
What wrestler?
Any wrestler, bro.
Well, no, pick one,
It
pick
could have
one,
been
pick
Rey
one.
Mysterio, bro. I don't care. It's just like that's how
Tweaking.
bad. That's
Tweaking.
how bad the fight scene was, though.
Ray is probably even older than that guy.
You know what? I would have taken El Grande Americano.
There you go.
No, I want Batista. Give me Batista.
Continuity.
No. Stop. Putting Batista in stuff that he shouldn't be in.
He's too buff.
Not anymore.
Look,
skinny.
bro, look.
I'm not gonna lie, Seth Rollins would have made a cold Boba Fett. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Nah.
No. If you haven't watched the animated stuff, there.
I haven't seen Clone Wars and like Rebels.
You never seen Clone Wars?
Clone Wars is the best.
The last 4
Dude, I ain't
episodes.
gonna lie, that actually threw me for a loop, bro.
The last 4 episodes. You haven't watched it at all?
I've seen it like here and there when it was on TV,
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes
Okay,
but
sense.
never like followed.
Okay.
I tried to start it like last year.
The best.
That first season is so hard.
Oh no, it's
No,
dreadful.
it is.
dreadful.
That
it is.
first
It's
season
dreadful.
It
is
is.
so hard.
Hey brother, if I could watch One Piece, you could watch that.
It's been
That's a good point.
It's been a time, bro. It's been
You gotta watch the Clone Wars cartoon, especially from the first season going into the rest. You gotta watch it how we grew up with the Harry Potter movies, because the first 3, fun, cool, magic. Oh, there's some bad guy. To when you watch Robert Pattinson die,
yes, that's my favorite one.
when you watch him die, and
Goblet of
then
Fire.
you see
Never
the
seen those
descent,
movies.
We need a Harry Potter episode.
the descent of how
Saying
grand
that
those
right
movies
now.
are, is how you should take the Clone Wars.
I never seen any of the Harry Potter movies besides the original
man.
2.
Wait, so you've seen Sorcerer's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets?
That's it.
You never seen anything after?
Nope.
Brother.
And I've never got it spoiled until now.
No, that's not a big point.
To answer his question,
I'm just saying, like, I didn't know absolutely nothing about it until now.
Okay, yeah,
That's
favorite-
how detached I am from it.
it's how important Batman is.
answer
to the
Manny's
community.
question. My favorite fight in Star Wars takes place season 2 of Star Wars Rebels,
Never seen Rebels, so.
which introduces the concepts you need for
Who's involved in that fight?
Lord Vader
Okay,
and Ahsoka.
okay. I think I've seen this fight online.
I'm not gonna lie. Another underrated fight is the live action one between Ahsoka and it's towards the end of the season. I can't remember, but that's another underrated fight.
I haven't seen.
Does she do a good job? Like, at playing Ahsoka?
No, she
No,
did
as soon as I saw who it
phenomenal.
was, I was like, okay, this gotta be
Rosario
fire.
Dawson.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka.
My last name is her first name.
They
She gotta be
wanted her to play, like, the fans wanted her to play Ahsoka because she looks exactly like the cartoon.
I mean,
she
with a little
nailed
bit
it.
of makeup.
In my opinion, she
But
nailed
yeah.
it. No, because she does look like the if you watched
Yeah, no, some of her
Clone
features.
Wars,
Facial features, yeah.
wrong. Some of her features, yeah.
There's one thing I want to say about the Boba Fett show.
Yeah.
The best 2 episodes were the episodes about the Mandalorian.
facts.
You finished it?
Yeah, I did.
How?
I finished
How
it.
can you start that and finish it, but you can't finish Clone Wars
because
season 1?
I'm trying
He's
to.
a fan. He endures.
And it's so,
Not that much.
Well, one,
I do.
I think it's like 20 episodes in Clone Wars first season. I think 20ish.
Yes,
Yeah, that
it's
sounds
20.
about right.
It's 20.
When you're binging a bunch of garbage, you get drained. When you have
One Piece, bro.
you have a week to
Are you
like
real?
kind of like a break off of it, like
like you're watching it little by
I
little.
was watching
That's
it
what- yeah,
weekly.
that
so,
makes sense.
And then I knew there were gonna be Mandalorian episodes later on. I didn't know it was gonna be like that, but I think I saw somewhere online that there were gonna be the Mandalorian episodes. So once I got there, I was like, and you need to watch those 2 episodes to understand season 3.
Yeah, I went in blind. I didn't care.
Yeah.
That's how bad I didn't want to watch it.
Okay, so I think you and I could agree that the Star Wars that we know now, the best part about it only came about because of Dave Filoni.
Yeah, whenever Kathleen Kennedy's not involved and Dave Filoni or John Favreau are like
Favreau,
leading it, I'm in. Until
guessing-
you prove otherwise, I'm in.
I don't know.
I'm
who
guessing.
those, I don't know who those people are.
Me either, but I'm guessing they're a part of most of the
So-
animated things.
John Favreau, you should know who that is.
John, what?
That's Happy Hogan,
Yeah.
the
Yo.
original director
Oh,
of
yes.
Iron Man.
Yep.
my goat.
He's also in. I think he did Mandalorian.
He and Dave Filoni came up with him.
Yeah.
John Favreau was more in charge of it. Dave Filoni, the guy that made all the modern Star Wars cartoons.
Okay.
Okay, so as I was saying,
Yes.
they're the ones that are usually a part of the better stuff, which is the animated animated
They.
version.
I saw an article where they kind of like told Kathleen Kennedy to stop messing with Mandalorian. They pretty much like nicely were like, we don't need you here.
Oh, them too. They're just like, we're good.
Be hands off.
Yeah, because she was trying to do too much, especially after the first season was really popular.
Of course.
Oh, let me get on this. I want to put my name on this.
And then they're like, no, we got it. I think John Favreau is the one who pushed for Grogu to be like a little animatronic instead of it being a CGI character.
Goated. Best decision.
Yeah. Because I mean, I love Yoda, but the Yoda in the prequel trilogy was like,
Yeah, I agree.
CGI was whatever.
No, I agree.
It's episode 1, Yoda with a mustache puppet. Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, I just think we agree that like animation is carrying. Because like the only reason Ahsoka was so good was because it all piggybacked off of the animated like concept.
You know what? I gotta
It all
shake
came
your.
together.
I have to shake your hand, my good sir, because that is the best point that's been made this entire hour.
Because I'm just like, because from what I'm understanding, it's just like not only is it the people behind it.
Why was that so backhanded?
I don't know, but
With a knife. It was just...
but it's the people involved that's pretty obvious, and then you got like how the animation bleeds in, which is funny because it contradicts our point or some of our points of like we should keep the shows and the movies separate.
See, so when I say the shows, I want to say that I mean the live action shows, because if you go off of animation and you go into the live action thing, it works a little bit better.
But if you
than it
really
does
think,
with the live
if you really think about it, no one's really done that yet.
No, the closest we're gonna get to that is like Beyond the Spider-Verse,
Which is gonna come out and when I'm an old man.
2027, my guy.
I'm gonna be
June
an old
6th,
man.
2027.
If you're gonna be old, what am I?
Ancient.
And he's gonna be
Dead.
dust.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to
animation.
clarify when I said that I'm watching garbage. I know it gets good. It's just so hard.
he's like
It's
You sounded like me for 2
seconds. I'm not because I like my friend, my best friend. He's all into the shows, and
No.
he was the one that told me you need to watch the shows to understand Ahsoka more. He's like, you don't, not like a requirement, but you're gonna enjoy yourself a lot more.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
gonna be as lost. I'm like, yeah, that's why I haven't watched Ahsoka, but man, I think I'm on like episode 14. It's just
getting there.
been tough.
You're
I've been grinding through, but it's been a tough first season.
Man,
You're fine.
you're gonna
You're good.
love yourself for going through it, man. I'll tell you this right now.
Hey, brother, you and me are on the same boat. I'm trying to ask. I'm trying to say the
Captain
same
Rex.
thing. I'm trying to
No,
say
it's
the
Commander
same thing.
Rex.
Captain.
It's Captain
Captain.
Rex.
It's only commander for like 2 days.
Okay, there we go. Captain Rex. Double pistols. Let me actually like stormtroopers. I mean, not stormtroopers. Clone troopers.
You're funny.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of the same, but
Either which way, as much as I can complain what Disney did or has done and will probably do to Star Wars,
is doing.
it's still a franchise that I find beloved. I love it. I have a good majority of the Legos. Well, I had growing up.
Yep.
Lego Star Wars, the game.
I
Hello.
played the Lego games.
Yes, sir.
They were fire.
Yes, sir.
Playing
all
the
of
old
them.
Republic
Complete
games.
saga.
Waiting for
Yes,
that
sir.
remake.
Tier.
The Galactic Edition.
Lego
Yep.
game. The Lego games was top tier.
Yep.
Probably the
Bro,
best.
even
Lego,
then, I was scared of Darth Vader, bro.
the best Lego game. The best Lego games is the Star Wars one, and second is Indiana Jones.
That's a fair
I would
point.
say the Marvel ones are pretty good.
Nah, I
The
don't
Marvel ones?
I don't
Oh
like
no,
them.
top tier, my guy. I finished it.
I don't like. I think they're way worse than
The
than those
Avengers
I
one
named.
is top tier. Marvel superheroes top tier.
Yeah,
But either way.
superheroes,
Either which
man.
way.
Neither here nor there.
I look forward to what comes next. I know at least there are people working at Disney, working on Star Wars that are fans that grew up with it.
Yep.
More power to them. Those are the people, even the people I don't know, such as Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni. More power to you. The people I don't know, more power to you. How do you guys feel how Star Wars has been the past decade, really? Because it's had its ups and downs.
It's been a little bit above mid for me. like a slight above, just because their bad has really dragged it down.
Okay.
I think my opinion is super mid. The beyondest of mid. Like,
Okay.
why? Like, it attests to the point of the fact that I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it because it's hard for me to watch it because it's so dragged.
As just limited knowledge, my boy. I'm gonna say it's just disappointing.
So mid.
I don't really know how to describe where I'm at with it. I just love the franchise as a whole. I haven't fully seen the Book of Boba Fett, even though it's not the best thing, but I could appreciate it only because I'm just a really big fan.
I started the first episode. I mean, I finished the first episode, started the second one, and 3 minutes in, I gave up.
That's fair.
Understand?
But at the very least, in the pond of darkness that has disappointed many fans, there are sprinkles of light, and I am all for it moving
I
forward.
agree.
That's why I put it just above.
That's why I still like
I
Marvel.
give it like a 6 out of 10 overall.
That's a good rating. Either which way, let us know how you feel. Are you a beloved fan? Do you blame Star Wars? Do you blame Disney? Are you going to take it up to the mouse? Thank you, Bryan, for coming back for another episode.
No problem.
My name is Joseph.
My name's Manny.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Bryan, the Sith Lord.
Peace!